Here I am at the Atlantic Ocean. I'm standing right on the edge of the beach of a place that stretches halfway across the globe. Think about this place here was made so long ago, and we're able to enjoy it now. Now, today I want to talk to you guys about what is going to be happening in 21. What is our focus going to be? And we have two things that happened in the past, 2020, and what does it mean right now, 2021. And I want us to realize that many people will tell you that your future is the most important thing, that your future is what you need to be thinking about because the future is the most significant, the most powerful force in your life. But I'm here to tell you today that the Apostle Paul understood something that Jesus taught, that it is our past that is the most powerful force in our life. So let me share with you a quote from Paul out of Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32. He said, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving one another, just as in Christ God forgave you. And in this way, you imitate Christ." Now think about that. This is a significant point in our past, and it affects us today. It is what God has done for us in the past that affects our steps and our actions today. Think about, it is my past, those things that I did in my past that affect and adjust how I behave today. Because of the things that I've been forgiven for in the past, it allows me to be more graceful and merciful today. Because of my past and how I received grace, how I received mercy, it affects how I live and act today. And standing on the edge of this beach, on the Atlantic Ocean, something where there's tons of movement, lots of things that are going on that are happening in another place, and they're ending right here. They're crashing right against the surface. Think about 2021 and everything that's crashing against the surface of 2021 that came from 2020. And in this year of 2021, I want us to discover something in our youth ministry and in our teaching that will reveal to us what is God trying to do. Now, the second thing I want to talk to you about is a word that when we hear it, apocalypse, or apocalyptic language or writing, just the word apocalypse, it's like science fiction in our mind. Just all kinds of things take off in our mind about what that means. We tend to think that, like one student told me, it's like the sunset on The Walking Dead, where you see all these walking dead, all these zombies. We tend to think about destruction and desolation. But in the Bible, apocalypse means something else. Apocalypse means revealing. It's pulling back the curtain. It's pulling back the curtain and seeing really what's the true reality, what is going on. And some of you have seen the movie The Wizard of Oz, and there's a moment where the curtain gets pulled back, and the great and powerful Wizard of Oz is just a man standing behind the curtain, and he's running this machine. And everything is revealed. In 2021, I think we need to pull back the curtain, and we need to look into 2020, and we need to see the deep meanings about 2020 can be found in the gospel. They can be found in the presence of God. And what has happened in the past is going to be the most powerful force in 2021. That's where I want us to go. Looking at what has been done to discover what is being done. And we'll know the future of what's going to be done. The gospel, many people, they distort religion, and they think that it's religion and the gospel is more about this happiness and this perfect, and it's almost this dreamy state of what it is. And so much time is spent on making things look like they're not. And it's a lot of pretense and pretending that this is what it is, and acting like there's not this big pile of bones sitting off the side. What do you mean, big pile of bones? Jesus said to a group of Pharisees, he said, you're like a bunch of whitewashed tombs with dead man's bones on the inside. Meaning they made themselves look pretty on the outside, but inside they're full of corruption, greed, sinfulness. So let's use this in 2021. Let's allow a revealing of what the gospel really is. And the gospel is the most real thing we know. That's what it is. In the gospel story of Jesus Christ, we have betrayal. We have a situation where there is corruption, and we have intrigue, we have taking over, we have an execution, and we have all this ratty, terrible things that happen, and it ends the life of this wonderful man. But 3 days later, they find out he wasn't just a man. He was the Son of God. And he stepped out of that tomb, and he walked, and he taught again, and he was lifted up into heaven. And in 2021, I want us to stoop down and look in that tomb. I don't want us to walk over and look at the face covering, or look at the cloth that he was wrapped in. I don't want us to look at the bench. I want us to look at the empty space. In 21, I want us to see the true reality, how the past is gone, and how the present is powerfully and forcefully affected by that. Our past is the greatest force that will ever be impacted upon our lives in Christ. This past becomes something that changes everything. Two things I want to leave you with. Those things that you left behind in 2020, some of those things you want to forget, and some of those things you want to remember. And the first thing is that in 2021, I want us to look at the gospel in such a way that those things that you wish could stay in 2020 and never be remembered, I want us to pull back the curtain, and I want to see how God is revealing to us the power of his gospel, how good and mercy come out of chaos. That's the first thing. And the second thing I want us to discover is the power of God's goodness. That just like he transformed us in the past, or from our past, and that is happening right now, we become imitators of God in this process. The second thing I want us to remember is that we're becoming imitators of God. And so let's make 2021 a time to learn what are the ways of God. What is it that are his characteristics? What are his passions? So our theme for 2021 is reveal. We're going to pull back the curtain, and we're going to discover these truths. And I can't wait to get back and discover these with you over the course of this year. Love you guys. Be good.